Okay, so a Florida woman who fatally shot a man in a parking lot is claiming self-defense. It started over a parking space and ended with 62-year-old Bart following the young lady around until she shot him. And at this time, the police have made no arrest.
Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome for the first time. So we're going to be talking about the incident that happened in Florida a few days ago, and as you can see, the black woman is claiming self-defense, and I believe it's self-defense, not because she's black, but because she's also a woman. And if you've seen the video, the man was walking towards her. And for the people that try to say, well, it's not a threat if you're walking towards someone, it is if you're gesturing in a threatening manner, meaning if you're making threats, if you're saying, oh, what you gonna do about it? Or, like, people understand an aggressive tone. And if someone has an aggressive tone and they're walking towards you, let's use common sense, because what I've noticed is people like to really play dumb when it comes to black people being able to defend themselves. Like, I've seen this online so much, and I'm pretty sure you have too, where they come up with every excuse in the book for when it's a white person to justify why it happened. But the very same or very similar incident can occur, and they will find every reason in the book to say this black person deserves to go to prison for the rest of their life. All of a sudden, murder is murder at that point. But they can't seem to get past it. And I got a whole bunch of clips I'm about to play. We about to just get back into it, get into it. Let's talk about it.
This happened at the North Lauderdale, Florida Walmart. And the man was 62-year-old Bart DeGalamo. He was shot and killed over a parking space. Now, I saw the video. It's an African-American woman. Now, I wonder if the stand your ground law will apply in this case. She was backing up, moving away from him, asking him to stand back. It's on video. He refused and he kept coming at her, so she fired one shot, and that one shot killed him. However, they were arguing over a parking space at the Walmart. She has not been arrested. Her identity has not been revealed to the media. They will leave it up to the prosecutors to decide whether or not the stand your ground law will apply in this case. Now, I'm for what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I'm just curious. So, about that black girl that shot that white man in the Walmart parking lot in Florida that's claiming self-defense. I just have a question, since we all done watched the video footage. How do y'all feel about her claiming self-defense? Now, Florida is another stand your ground state, but how do y'all feel about her claiming self-defense? Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Had that had footage of her getting her ass out of that car with that pew-pew, and there was only footage of that white man walking towards her them few times they caught him walking up on her and her backing away trying to go the other way but pointing the gun at him, I could very well seen her getting off with self-defense. But the fact that they were doing all of this back and forth, being petty and edit behind a parking spot, and she got in the car and got out of the car with the pew-pew, and it's on camera, that gives every bit of first-degree murder. Like, I feel like had there been no footage of her getting out that car, she'd be good. Getting in your car and getting out with a gun when there was already a brewing situation like that, it gives first-degree murder, because that is pretty much you premeditating this whole situation, like, almost like you planning this. It almost comes off like, I guess while they was arguing, it comes off like she probably got in the car like, yeah, I ain't going for this shit. She probably was like, she not having it, and hopped out that goddamn car with that pew-pew.
Just to interject here, Florida's stand your ground law has a clause or mechanism in it that basically says you don't have a duty to retreat. So I don't know how they're going to square this. You know, I'm going to play the rest of the video. I don't know how they're necessarily going to square this, because what I went and did was I went and looked up to see how George Zimmerman got off. That's what I did. I'm going to play the rest of the video and then probably get into that when this concludes.
I just feel like if that shit wasn't on camera, it would have been self-defense. Now, granted, I'm be honest, regardless of the fact she got out the motherfucking car with the gun in there, I mean, just being honest, I ain't saying she wrong. I ain't saying she wrong for I'm not, because I mean, I feel like there were too many angles of him like walking up on her. He just kept, I mean, I feel like she probably should have gave a warning shot, but to shoot him one time, baby, and that being the shot that really just, damn, sister, you've been at the range. You've been practicing. I don't know. Listen, if they do give her stand your ground and give her self-defense for it, then hey, I ain't gonna even lie. I wouldn't even feel, well, I don't feel bad at all, to be honest with you. I feel like regardless, he ain't had no right running up on a girl like that. But I just feel like she should have got in the car and got back out with it like that, because it gives, oh, I'm supposed to show this motherfucker. I ain't the one. You know what I'm saying? I hope that this self-defense stuff don't create a shit storm. You know, like, I hope that people can be responsible with these pew-pews, because I don't know if that girl has kids and stuff, but girl, you gone to jail. That man is dead, and your life could be over if they don't find you in the right for defending yourself. Like, girl, you could really be getting smoked. And I just think that this is not a good time to be even having to go in front of nobody, the judges and the white folks right now. Just like, let this stuff die down, because it's almost like, I feel like they're gonna be trying to make an example out of anybody black. Now, that I will say, I do not feel like it would be smart for anybody that does carry to just be getting too trigger happy, because I definitely do feel like these white folks is going to make it their business to try to make an example out of any one of us, especially if one of theirs is being eliminated. So all that carry, just be mindful. Please, just be mindful. That's all I'm asking.
Honestly, I think the opposite is going to occur. Personally, I think that there are entities out here that want to see a race war ignite. So I think this would be a perfect example of, well, we're not going to convict her. We're not going to charge her. You know, we're not going to charge her with a crime, because they're going to say it's stand your ground. They're going to say it's self-defense. Now, I could be completely wrong here. And if I am, I will definitely do a follow-up. Hey, I was wrong. Don't judge me for being optimistic this time around. But I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to, because they didn't arrest her. They're just waiting on the prosecutors. I think they're going to be like, hey, you know, he was aggressive or whatever and whatnot. And I think white people are going to lose their fucking minds. I think they're going to lose their fucking minds. Because, you know, as the videos I'm going to play, they're going to talk about how they keep saying, oh, he's a veteran. You know, they're pushing a narrative. You know, they're pushing a narrative and trying to make this a political thing, as they always fucking do. But my conspiracy, I think they're gonna drop it all and just be like, nah, she's free to go. And I think white people are gonna lose their minds. And I think that's what they want. They want the chaos. They want the chaos that's going to bring, because it's a million more news stories because of this one thing here. I could be completely wrong and off base, but I think that's what's gonna happen. Now, what I'm reading is in relation to the George Zimmerman case. The biggest paradox of the case is that George Zimmerman's legal team never requested a formal stand your ground immunity hearing. Under Florida law, a stand your ground hearing allows the judge to dismiss criminal charges before a trial ever starts if the defendant can prove they acted in self-defense. Zimmerman's lawyers waived this right, opting for a standard trial by jury under traditional self-defense. However, stand your ground is still dictated the verdict. When it came time to instruct the jury before deliberations, Judge Deborah Nelson was legally required to include the exact language of Florida's stand your ground statute into the written jury instructions. Quote, if Zimmerman was not engaged in an unlawful activity and was attacked in any place where he had a right to be, he had no duty to retreat and had the right to stand his ground and meet force with force, including deadly force if he reasonably believed that it was necessary to do so to prevent death or great bodily harm. By injecting this language, the law effectively told the jury that even if Zimmerman had an opportunity to back away during the confrontation, he was under no legal obligation to do so. Now, in regards to the Trayvon Martin case, a lot of us were wondering, like, how could you claim self-defense if you were chasing after him? The 911 dispatcher told you, no, don't do that. You don't have to do that. Don't do that. and you proceeded to do so anyway. So if you're chasing who you perceive to be a suspect, or, how can you claim self-defense? Well, this is what it said. The central question that outraged the public was, how can you claim self-defense if you profile, follow, and corner an unarmed teenager? In the eyes of criminal law, the prosecution failed to close the gap between Zimmerman following Martin and the actual physical altercation due to three distinct legal realities. Following someone is not a crime. While the police dispatcher famously told Zimmerman, "We don't need you to do that," this was an advisory recommendation, not a legal order. Legally speaking, Zimmerman was on a public sidewalk in his own neighborhood. Because following someone does not constitute a physical assault, it did not legally make Zimmerman the initial physical aggressor. The initial aggressor reset. Under self-defense law, the person who starts a fight cannot use deadly force unless they completely withdraw from the fight first. However, because there were a few minutes of unrecorded darkness between the time Zimmerman stopped following Martin and the time the fight began, the state could not prove who struck the first blow. The defense argued that Zimmerman had lost sight of Martin and was walking back to his truck when Martin confronted him and punched him in the face. Legally, if Martin threw the first punch, Martin became the initial aggressor, and Zimmerman's full right to self-defense was instantly activated. Because there were no eyewitnesses to the exact start of the physical fight, the prosecution could not disprove this narrative. The snapshot rule of self-defense. Self-defense law is hyper-focused on a snapshot of the exact microsecond the trigger is pulled. It largely ignores the poor decisions that led up to that moment. The defense successfully locked the jury's attention onto the final seconds of the struggle. They used forensic evidence, including a broken nose and lacerations on the back of Zimmerman's head, alongside eyewitness testimony to argue that Martin was straddling Zimmerman, pinning him to the ground and slamming his head into the concrete, MMA style. At that exact micro moment, Zimmerman was on his back, taking a physical beating and unable to escape. The jury concluded that a reasonable person in that specific terrifying position would fear great bodily harm or death, making the use of deadly force lawful under Florida law. Now, we as black people know that how they write these laws, when and how they write these laws, definitely don't benefit us. Okay, they write them in such a way that's vague legalese, this legal language that you need a lawyer or an attorney to interpret. And then it's written in such a way and so vague that it is based on interpretation most of the time. I do believe that we should be in the business of writing laws that are straightforward, right? But those are the three breakdowns, how they're looking at it. So basically, they don't care if a jury is supposed to be judging a self-defense case. They don't care what led up to it. They're trying to pinpoint at the exact moment that the trigger was pulled, or however the person loses their life. I mean, to me, that's flawed thinking. What led up to a situation always matters and should always matters. Because if the person was minding their own business, right? If the person's minding their own business and someone wants to all of a sudden get aggressive and physical with you for whatever reason, a reason that if you didn't do anything to the person and you're minding your own business, well, I mean, you have to do what you have to do at that, but I don't know. It's Florida, for crying out loud. And it's Florida. It's Florida. Let's just get back to the videos.
And this is how you find out if it's really about what's right legally, or is it about racism? Because did you guys see the incident in Florida at the Walmart where the guy and the woman get into it over the parking spot? Then she pulls a gun out and he continues to take steps towards her while she is armed and telling him not to come anywhere near her. And he continuously takes steps towards her as a grown man arguing over a parking spot. in Walmart while there are multiple parking spots open next to them. You're so dedicated in arguing with this woman that you're forgetting you're a man. You're a grown-ass man. But walk away. And then when she up ratchet, call the police. You know she ain't supposed to. Oh, call the police. Tell me you point the gun at me, you threaten me. You'll go to jail. He took it on some Tommy Tough Knuckle Super Billy Badass shit to take steps towards her. And I feel like she acted in self-defense. 1000%. That's a woman.
Was this black woman supposed to wait for the man that was charging at her to kill her before she defended herself? Some people seem to think so. Let's get into it. So on Tuesday, an unidentified black woman shot and killed a 62-year-old white man who has also been identified as an Army veteran during a parking lot dispute outside of a North Lauderdale Walmart. Now, the woman who remained at the scene and cooperated fully with police told investigators that she acted in self-defense. Now, witnesses at the scene reportedly said that the woman was hysterical after firing the shot. Video of the incident shows a 62-year-old man approaching the woman's vehicle and following her around the car as she backed away, gun drawn, before she fired a single shot. She was not arrested, and the incident is being reviewed by the Broward County State Attorney's Office. Now, the conservative outrage machine has already spun into overdrive. The same right-wing pundits who spent years championing Florida's Stand Your Ground law, a 2005 product of NRA lobbying that eliminated the duty to retreat and granted immunity from arrest and prosecution if you shoot and kill someone, they're now subtly calling for this woman's head on a spike. When George Zimmerman used the same law to kill Trayvon Martin, they rally behind him. When white shooters invoke stand your ground, it's their sacred right. But when a black woman defends herself against a man who approached her car and followed her as she was trying to get away, suddenly it's murder. I would be a fool not to point out the hypocrisy. Now, please don't try to spin this into saying that I am saying a dispute over a parking lot space should end in someone losing their life. I think all life is sacred, including my own, and I fear that if I was in a similar predicament where a man was charging at me and following me around a vehicle as I was trying to get away, all over a dispute over a parking space, I probably would have feared for my life too. So here we are. A woman says she feared for her life. She stayed to talk to the police, who did exactly what the law allows, and yet the usual defenders of gun rights and stand your ground laws are calling for her arrest. I gotta know, what do y'all think about this after seeing the video? Should she be arrested, or did she just simply stand her ground?
Dude said every day I start to understand what white people talk about. What? And he's replying to a video of a woman defending herself from a white guy walking out of his car and walking towards her aggressively while she says, "Back up, leave me alone, stop following me." After he started the altercation by blocking parking spaces. That's what you say? Oh, I understand what white people... Are you serious? I replied to him, unless that was a typo, unfollow me, bro. This nigga dead at. I gave him a way out. I gave him a way to say, oh no, I didn't mean to say that. And he went and unfollowed me for that. You are an entire raccoon. You unfollowed one of the most pro-black pages that you could come across to defend white people in a case where a white woman or a black woman was defending herself from a belligerent white man who aggressively approached her for no reason after harassing her. You need to reevaluate your life.
This young brother shouldn't be surprised. There are plenty of raccoons in our community. There are plenty of people that look like us, that will see her, the black woman, as guilty because, well, she's still unalive someone. But they didn't have that same smoke and that same energy for Rick Chow. See, this is how you know it's like it's a mental disease within folks, within people, seriously. And for him to unfollow you, that he did you a favor. Like, why should you ever get upset? Like me, I'm having to block people on my YouTube channel. The racists who come out of the woodwork when they make comments under my, under my videos and everything. Like, I have to block these racist people. Like, how the hell do you keep finding my content? But there's no surprise that he did that. And truthfully, my opinion, yeah, I believe she was literally standing her ground. It's like, you can't have that law just suitable for y'all. You think so basically what we making is we making white laws. That's what we making. I mean, because if that's what you're doing, just be open and honest about it. Just be, no, this white law, this only helps white people. Be open and honest. Don't give me this freedom shit. Don't give me this American shit. Don't give me this we're all united, the United States bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. You know, if God forbid, if something happens to the country, don't try to rally us all together now. After during peacetime, you do everything to fucking keep us divided. I'm not even gonna get on my soapbox, but yeah, I think she was standing her ground. So, I'm gonna keep going. I got a few more videos I'm gonna play and give my commentary.
Oh, I love every bit of this. Look at you. I saw your profile pic. Look at how fragile you are. You are the type of man who enjoys using stand your ground against so many different people. But when women are using it against men, oh, that makes you shit yourself. Your knees get weak, your legs are wobbly, and you become a little incontinent, don't you? I know you do. That's all right. You see, there's a part of stand your ground, which is reasonable force. And if you look up reasonable force for self-defense, which is part of the Castle Doctrine, you'll find that she was totally justified, and that's why we have this.
Deputies confirm the woman and Guglielmo exchanged words over a parking spot and then the shooting. She waited for police to arrive, then told them she shot in self-defense. Tonight she's not in jail.
So check this out, right? Y'all know that situation where the black lady had to kill that white man over that parking spot, right? I want y'all to think about this. What the fuck was he thinking that he can actually pull up and see that this woman already had this parking spot and say, you know what, I want that spot and I'm gonna take it from her. Now the question is, if that was another white man, he would have did that. If that was a white lady, he would have did that. But if that was a black man, I don't even think he would have tried that. Well, maybe he would have, man, because y'all out here acting goofy as hell anyway.
She's on the phone. She has the pew-pew in her hand. She is backing up as Bart continues to walk towards her. Bart goes as far as to follow the woman around the car. You cannot hear what he's saying, but it appears like he is saying something to her, and she is saying, walk away, walk away. When Bart gets, I guess, too close for her comfort, she releases one shot. Bart goes down, and Bart is no longer among the land of the living. Now, the woman is not currently in jail, nor was she arrested. She remained at the scene, and you see after she unloads on Bart that one pew-pew shot, she places the handgun on top of the car, and witnesses say that she was very distraught over what had happened. Now, to me, it seems like a clear case of stand your ground. I am not an attorney, but I have eyeballs and I have a brain. And the woman continued to tell Bart with a loaded...
Hello and good morning. Listen, I've been tagged a whole lot in this story out of Florida about the lady who shot the man in the Walmart parking lot. Okay. So, just kind of doing a little research. But I just want to say, I'm getting real tired of the right wing and how they're portraying this. Army veteran shot by black woman in Walmart parking lot. Army veteran fatally wounded in shooting. Army vet. No, let's stop that. Let's stop that. Aggressive man shot in parking lot by a woman who was afraid. Aggressive man was told to back up and leave this woman alone multiple times. Aggressive man saw the lady with the gun and still kept moving towards her, even when she kept saying, "Leave me alone." Even when she herself backed up. She tried to get away from him. He walked around the other side of the car to go antagonize her. He literally parked his car in the middle of the drive-through way behind her car. So, to all the racists who are upset that this man got shot and are claiming that that doesn't justify stand your ground, y'all can fuck off. Right there with George Zimmerman. Right there with the man in Jacksonville who shot the kids because their music was too loud. Y'all just mad because now the rabbit actually has the gun. That's it. That's all I got. Now, if that's too much for some people, I don't know that I care. I really don't. Because Florida implemented these stand your ground rights, because these stand your ground laws, because Florida has a racist governor, right? And people need to realize that just because a racist put the law in effect, y'all got to remember that rules apply to everybody. Now, I understand y'all president been getting away with a lot of shit that other people couldn't get away with, but he ain't gonna be able to do that forever. And neither are you. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Don't tag me no more. Okay, bye.
You know, I agree with that. I agree with that last part, as far as we have to stop with the narrative thing. Like, Army veteran. No, it doesn't matter. He wasn't on duty. He wasn't active duty. He was a civilian at that point. Yeah, that may have been what he was. But you're trying to paint a picture, because here's the thing. If she does indeed get charged, which I don't think she will, by the way, but I'm just being naive right now, I guess. People have already heard about this case. So it's big right now. So going to find jurors or whatever and whatnot, I'm saying, if we get to this point, people have heard about the case. So you're already trying to put that seed in people's minds. Right? This is the type of sneaky shit that they do. And you have to be able to spot their bullshit tactics. You're going to try to plant a seed to try to say, well, he was an Army, Navy, but whatever, veteran, whatever. And no, if you're getting upset because I'm being dismissive about what he was or whatever and whatnot, okay, that's okay, fine. He was nobody to me because I didn't even know he existed. Okay, thanks for your service, I guess. That's not me being unpatriotic or anything. It's just I didn't know you. Like I don't know most Americans, you know. Anyway, not to get too far off the point, you plant these seeds to make him look like a hero. And try to paint the picture of, oh, well, it's a black woman. They already have a negative stereotypical view of us anyway. You already look as black. You look at black as negative already anyway. So if you put the two together, let's use common sense. A negative black shoots a veteran and get people all patriotic and bullshit. You know, it's false patriotism. Honestly, it is false patriotism. But that's for another episode. Quite frankly, I don't think they're gonna charge her. I hope they don't. I hope they let it go. And people are gonna look at me like I'm racist or whatever and whatnot. Look, according to you, I'm never gonna beat the allegations anyway. So I don't give a shit what you think. It's been too many of our people that have been gunned down in this country, and nothing has been done about it. There's too many of us that's been lynched in this country in years past in history, and so many white people have gotten away with so much crime on this land, on this soil, so much blood in this soil. So miss me with your false outrage, miss me with your bullshit. Because what people are starting to do, they're starting not to listen to you. See, you can be as loud as you want. You can be loud, but that don't mean people are going to hear you. See, y'all have a habit of grabbing a microphone or grabbing a horn or whatever. Because y'all got big mouths and y'all loud as fuck. But nobody's listening to you. You know why? Because you have no credibility. You don't have a leg to stand on. You all voted for Trump. You elected Trump. Yes, I'm putting y'all all in the same box. I'm putting y'all all in the same box. Because the people, I guarantee it, most of the people that are saying she's guilty and whatever and whatnot, that can look past the Rick Child shit, are the same ones that voted for Trump. Prove me wrong. So yeah, learn to leave people alone. We keep saying this in the black community. Leave black people alone. Leave us the fuck alone. Y'all just won't do it. Because it's ancestral. It's in your DNA. You think you could just bully us and push us around? Because that's your ancestors talking to you, telling you that you should be able to get away with it. And guess what? See, that's a two-way track. That goes both ways. See, our ancestors are talking to us too. And they telling us not to stand for this shit. Leave people the fuck alone. That go for everybody. I ain't even making this a race thing. Everybody leave everybody the fuck alone. Stay woke. See you next time.